It seems like a lot of people recently have a $1,200 budget for a new gaming rig. That might have something to do with that stimulus check you got in the mail. So today I'm going to show you how I would build a gaming rig for under $1,200. Stay tuned. Alright, so you have $1,200 burning a hole in your pocket. Let's see if I can help you spend that. So anyway, first thing I have to note is please excuse the David Hasselhoff hair. I realize that my hair is a little overgrown, but it's a little hard to get a haircut right now with everything that's going on. So let's get past it. Anyway, so today this is gonna be an AMD based build. There's pretty much the best value for what you can get right now, and we can put a lot of money into other things. So I'm going to use a couple different AMD options here. So let's take a look. So here I'm starting out with the Ryzen 5 3600X. It's a great processor, comes with a decent cooler. This one right here, let's take a look here. The Ryzen 5 3600, it's a 6-core, 12-thread processor. It's got a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.4. It's a pretty solid processor. I've built several systems with it and have been pretty happy with it. Alternatively, we could also go with the 3600, save ourselves a little bit of money. It doesn't come with as good of a cooler though, but with a better cooler, the 3600 will actually reach the same speeds as the 3600X. So keep that in mind also. So next we've got here I put the X570 motherboard here. This is a Asus Tough. I've been really happy with these boards. They work really well. I would have initially spec'd this out with a 450 chipset because their value is pretty good. You can get them for about half the price, but at the time that I was filming this, there wasn't a lot available in 450s, so a lot of people are building computers right now apparently. So this computer, or this motherboard here is a pretty decent board. Obviously the 500 series has active cooling on the chipsets. You've got 4 DIMM slots, so you're pretty upgradable there. This motherboard here is pretty solid right here. Alternatively, you can use this one right here. This is actually the motherboard that I currently use, and I'm really happy with it. This is a micro ATX. But it's the 450 chipset. It still has 4 DIMM slots, and it's a pretty solid little board. I've also built some systems out of this one here. This is basically the full ATX counterpart to the one I just showed you. 450 chipset, and it's a solid motherboard as well. And either of these boards, either of these two 450 boards here, you can pick these up for about $100, so about half the price of the 500 series chipset. So anyway, let's go on to... Alright, so the memory on this one right here, I chose the 3200 Ripjaw 16 gigabyte dual channel kit. This comes with 2 8 gigabyte DIMMs, and it's pretty good value, $72. So it's 3200 speed, and see if we can pull this up here. So this is actually the memory that I use. It's really decent memory. I like it a lot. It's pretty stylish. It comes in black, red, and blue, I believe. So I have the blue DIMMs in mine because I kind of have a blue theme going in my system. But obviously color doesn't mean anything, and a lot of times the other colors actually cost more money. So if that's the case, it may not be worth it. Just get the black DIMMs. They kind of match everything. So anyhow, let's go on to, for storage on this one, I chose the Crucial P1. I've built a couple systems with this NVMe drive. It's not the fastest drive, but it's still pretty quick. I mean, it's a NVMe SSD, so it's a quick little drive. You can pick these things up for about $100, and it's definitely worth it for a 1 terabyte NVMe. Not much more to say about it than that. So let's move on to, okay, for regular storage, I got a 2 terabyte Barracuda. I've been using these drives for a while. I use these drives in my NAS. I have the 4 terabyte rather variants of these right here, and I've been really happy with them. Right now I've got roughly about 9,000 hours on them, and with no problems. They just run great. Can't complain about them at all. For this one right here, now I got a couple different options here. This one right here, I spec this one out with an RTX 2070. This is a gigabyte, and it's going for $399. And this video card here is it's a pretty decent card. It's a good price. I mean, $400 for an RTX card. So 8 gigabytes GDDR6. It's a decent price for what you get. It gets you into the RTX family of cards. Okay, so now let's move on to the next thing. So here I picked the Fractal Design Focus G. I just love this case. I really do. I may be a fanboy of this in particular case. I have the Focus G Mini, and I've built a couple computers out of the Focus G, and I just love this case. It's a really solid little case. Let me see if I can pull it up here. In this one, I chose the blue variant just because it was like $10 cheaper than the other ones. So I went after the blue one. But it comes in a bunch of different colors. You can get it in black, you can get it in red, you can get it in white, and it looks like you can get it in gray, like a gunmetal gray or something like that. But I chose the blue in this build simply because it was cheaper. And depending on what's cheaper at the time you buy it, then you could go with that one if the color doesn't matter to you. But the blue one actually looks kind of cool. I have the black, and I don't know, I guess I would probably use the blue one if I had the chance to build another system out of it. But anyway, this is a solid little case. I'd definitely give it a shot. So next on the list, I've got a EVGA 650 watt bronze semi-modular supply. And this one right here, I've actually used this supply a couple of times, and it's a nice little power supply here. I've mainly picked this one here primarily because it had 2 power plugs for the VGA. Because of the video cards I was choosing, we needed at least a 6-pin and an 8-pin. Other than that, though, it's semi-modular, so your CPU power and your motherboard power are going to actually be on the same, built into the supply, so you won't actually be able to unplug those. But why would you want to? You need those anyway. So you'd only plug in the peripherals that you'd basically need. So anyway, some of the options that I put together here is, this system here would come out to $1167.36. So it'll give you enough money for, tax and shipping and things of that nature, and kind of bring you right around $1,200. But like I said earlier, you could use the 3600. That could save you a little bit of money, and you could also use a 450 chipset motherboard. And between those two right there, that's going to save you over $100. And so if you did that, you could go over to this. So this is a B450M, the one I showed you earlier, and that motherboard was just the only 450 chipset board available during the time of filming. If you wanted a full ATX, you can get the B450 Pro for about the same price as this one, and then the 3600. And then to make up for it, I actually upgraded to a 2070 Super. So it saved us $100, and I went ahead and put that $100 towards the video card instead. So with that one, and that's an EVGA also, and I actually kind of like EVGA video cards. So this one here, let me pull this one up real quick. Alright, so this card right here, it looks like you can actually get a little bit cheaper directly from EVGA. So anyway, this one here, the only downside with this one is the 2070 actually had a back plate, and this one I don't think does. At least I can't see it in the pictures. But that's really aesthetic. It doesn't really matter, and if you can get more performance, then it might be worth it there. So anyway, this gives you a couple ideas of what you can do. Oh, and it looks like that one's out of stock. It was in stock when I pulled this up earlier. So things are selling really fast. So if you really want a computer, you better get on it really quick, because it looks like everyone has the same idea and everybody's building new computers right now. So anyhow, that gives you a couple ideas. Both of these systems here are fairly the same system. It's just a couple little modifications with the 450 chipset. But either way, you can come in right around $1,200 out the door after you pay tax and shipping, depending on where you're located and where you buy this stuff at. A lot of times if you pick it up from Amazon, you can get free shipping. So definitely check that out. So anyway, those are my choices. That's something that if I were to build a system right now, that's what I would put together. So if you have any differences in opinion or any choices that you would make differently, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say and how you could improve this list. So anyway, have a good day. And that's how I would configure a gaming rig for under $1,200. Now, just because that's the way I would do it doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. I highly recommend you look at some of the other tech videos that have been done recently for $1,200 system builds. All of them make some really good points and put together some really decent systems. So anyway, if this video was helpful to you, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. Thanks again.